Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. If you're passionate about football, transfer, and all things Manchester United, you're in the right place. Here, we break down the latest updates, match analysis, exclusive insights, and behind-the-scenes stories you won't hear anywhere else. So if you love staying ahead of the game and never want to miss a big signing, a tactical change, or a breaking update, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you're always first to know. Your support means everything and helps this community grow stronger every day. Let's build something amazing together. I always knew Ashley Young was surprised Man United sold player with hunger. He was ideal for Ruben Amorim. Manchester United's transfer window is in a state of standstill because they can't sell players, and according to Ashley Young, when they did make one, it was a big mistake. Jadon Sancho, Antony, Marcus Rashford, Alejandro Garnacho, and Tyrell Malacia. These are the unwanted five whose presence has effectively held Man United's transfer window hostage. United haven't been a good selling club since Sir Alex Ferguson retired, and last summer, the first one under Ineos, was a rare occasion when they sold more than £100 million worth of talent. Already, United have earned close to £15 million from players they didn't even have on their books due to sell-on clauses, but the one mistake they made will haunt them, as per Ashley Young. Ashley Young knew Man United made a mistake. Despite leaving the club in 2020, Ashley Young continued to play at a high level for a while, showing that United are a different beast when it comes to the demands of a player. He joined Inter Milan in a league that is famous for giving players a second lease of life. Man United are all too familiar with that phenomenon. Before Scott McTominay tore the world apart at Napoli en route to becoming an icon, they had already seen the likes of Matteo Darmian and Henrik Mkhitaryan defy father time after moving to Italy. However, in Young's eyes, the biggest mistake United made was selling Scott McTominay when they did, since he saw in the Scot the qualities which would have made him Ruben Amorim's ideal man. He said, he was one of them youngsters, McTominay, who came into the first team when we were there, and he had that hunger, desire, and belief. He just wants to do well from a young age. I was surprised that Man United let him leave. I always knew that if he had a new challenge, it would be perfect for him. Saw him at Napoli, with Antonio Conte, I knew the manager would love him. He just wants the hardest working player. I'm delighted for him. Scott McTominay's departure was best for everyone involved. It is easy to look at McTominay's maverick displays at Napoli and transpose them directly to Old Trafford to have a feeling of what if. However, football isn't as simple as that, and it's not like United sold McTominay without giving him a chance in the first team, a la Paul Pogba or Alvaro Fernandez. The reality is that McTominay would have never been as influential as he has ended up being in Napoli because the leagues and the makeup of the two teams are completely different. He was a cog in the wheel at Old Trafford, and his physicality was matched by most teams on a match day, while he's the main man at Napoli, and his physicality advantage is clear. Sometimes, it's just good to accept that a sale that has worked out was well-timed and benefited everyone, instead of wondering if the sold player could have done the same at United. If they did, they would still be at the club. Alejandro Garnacho contacted by Christopher Nkunku's agents as Man United star offered transfer help. Alejandro Garnacho will have to find a new club this summer after being told his time as a Manchester United player is over. Despite being a key player last season, Alejandro Garnacho's comments after the Europa League final sealed his future away from Manchester United. Ruben Amorim told Garnacho to find a new club, with reports that the Portuguese coach told him, "You better pray that you can find a club to sign you." The 21-year-old winger was told not to return for preseason training last week and to continue working towards finding a new club. Garnacho rejected a move to Saudi as his preference is to stay in the Premier League, and now agents are lining up to help him force an exit. Christopher Nkunku's agents approach Alejandro Garnacho, with his priority being to stay in the Premier League. Garnacho has been linked to Chelsea this summer, but the Blues are yet to make a formal approach. One potential idea floated was a Garnacho and Nkunku swap deal, with both clubs looking to offload their forwards this summer. While no progress has been made towards that swap deal, Manchester Evening News report that Garnacho has been contacted by Goal International Agency. Nkunku is a client of the footballing agency, run by Pini Zahavi. He made a £52 million move to Chelsea in 2023, but is now looking likely to move on this summer. Garnacho is currently represented by leaders, run by Carlos Cambero and Enrique de Lucas. However, despite the approach, Cambero is determined to forge a move without any external assistance. Ineos will want Alejandro Garnacho sold quickly. United have set an asking price of £70 million for Garnacho this summer, although a smaller deal could be accepted if it helps to get the Argentine off the books at Old Trafford. As an academy graduate, Garnacho's sale would represent pure profit from a PSR, profit and sustainability rules, perspective. It would allow Ineos to reinvest in Amorim's squad this summer, so everyone at United would prefer a sale to happen sooner rather than later. Man United's newest Wonderkid has come out of nowhere. Ruben Amorim deserves huge credit. Manchester United fans haven't had a lot to shout about in the transfer window of late, but the cementing of the emergence of the newest Wonderkid provides hope for a future under Ruben Amorim. One of the main reasons why Ruben Amorim was a perfect appointment at Man United was because of his history of bringing through young players. Amorim's debutants at Sporting are some of the world's best players today, and others have carved out a proper place in professional football for themselves. If he can replicate even 50% of that magic at this much higher level of Old Trafford, he will be a made man, and he's off to a great start with a surprise breakthrough. Man United's newest Wonderkid cemented. A major advantage of the Premier League season being written off way before completion last season was that Amorim was free to use youth prospects. Layers like Harry Amas, Chido Obi, and Aiden haven't probably got their debuts earlier than they would have done in a team fighting for positions in the league. All of them ran away with the opportunity and figured to be a big part of the squad in 2025-26, as expected, since they were highly rated. One player who will join them, but who wasn't as highly rated in the academy, is Tyler Fredriksson, whose emergence as a Wonderkid has recently been cemented by the club. Fredriksson's squad number has been given an upgrade along with Obi, hinting that Ruben Amorim sees a larger role for him in 2025-26. Fredriksson's breakthrough came out of nowhere, while all the attention was on the likes of Godwill Kukonkin and Reece Munro. The centre-back shone on debut and continued that form to the end of the season. Now, the challenge will be to prove that the breakthrough last season was not a fluke.